Yeah, we've got more research, so I don't think there's really much more research to do. I'll grab the juicer, because we're going to need it anyway. In terms of research, I don't actually need the juicer building. That's definitely not required. Just going to try and speed this up. But we are making gold. I'm going to use gold to make the suits. See, in terms of steel, we managed to make 600 kilos, but we're out of light. Just realised I didn't take into account the fact that we need to make the docks as well, which also takes refined metal. So, Atmo suits are really great. They do take a lot of refined metal. I've got the insufficient oxygen generation, but that's frankly a load of nonsense. Ooh. As long as I've got the base pressurised and breathable, which I do, then I'm great. And in fact, I've got all of this pressurised too. And what you notice as well, in terms of carbon dioxide, a little bit's fallen down here, and loads of it's fallen down here, and the hydrogen's collected up here, but most of this is oxygen. So you really don't have to worry too much. Don't be scared about digging out the map. Definitely digging out is the way to go. Just quickly gonna nab the eggs again. Just to make sure I can see an egg there. It's not... Not actually required again. Barbecue wise, we've got 20,000 there, and the flow rate's good. Just keep it coming in constantly, consistently. Right, and we've got exosuit forge, brilliant. So it is 300 per. Right, and you can't make it out of gold, so I've made quite a bit of gold already. But I can use those for the docks, which is good. So what I'm going to do is I can start building them. They're under stations, so I'll build the atmosphere checkpoint. I can use gold for this, so it's not wasted. And I can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've left room for 7. And what I'll do is I'll put a second checkpoint and 3. Oh, I tell you what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll put another 5 up here. So how much have I got left? I've got none. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So that's 600 there. So I need another 600. So we'll do 6 gold. Not as much as I was intending. And then I think I can do cobalt, can't I? So I can do a cobalt suit, and I need 300 per suit. So let's do 30 cobalt. I've got a lot of cobalt. And that's kind of the exact numbers we need. You can always make a little bit more. But it's usually a better idea to hold on to the metal ore. Because you can get unlimited refined metal from the metal volcanoes, but the ore is harder to get hold of. Sustainably, the only way to do it is to get it from outer space. Although on a map this big, even though this is quite poor for metal, there's still a lot of it. On a spaced out map, a smaller map, you might struggle a bit more. So just beware of converting too much of your metal ore into refined metal. Just grabbing some uncooked fish. We'll turn that into cooked fish. Count it towards carnivore. And we should be almost there. The barbecue numbers are still up, which is excellent. I think we're only 4 cycles away, 3 or 4 cycles. Yeah, so 355 out of 400. So we are well ahead of schedule. It's been quite a good run. The shovels really help because you can do this as early as you can get there, basically, which kind of speeds up the amount of calories you can eat for barbecue. So for these we've already got the oxygen in. What I'll do is I think I'll pull off this line. So this isn't particularly well balanced right now, because obviously this line's currently just supplying the base, and this line is just going to supply the suits. Because I can need both lines to supply the suits, so I really should balance this out and ask both lines to supply the base. So what I'll do is I'll leave this bottom line supplying the right half of the base and this top layer of suits, and I'll use this line to supply the bottom layer of suits and the left half of the base. Right, and they also need power. So I think what I'm going to do, just to be safe, is add another transformer. I could probably add it to the same line and get away with it, but for the sake of this I'm just going to add another transformer. Now the question is where. I want to keep it to the right of this line, just to keep the heavy watt away, but I don't want to go too high either. So I'm just going to put it here, because this is in line with my already existing one. And then I can just pull this across. I'll put a bridge here, and we'll pull this into the base. And you could rejig this so that say different things are run off this line instead. Try and keep it more horizontal. It doesn't matter too much for this, so we're going to run those through there, through there. And then I'm just popping the bridge across there, across there, across there. More bridgeables. Ooh, look, travel. There we go. Nope. Have the barbecue any day. Check, there's 9 in here, 9 in here, and 8 in there. So we've got 2 extras. Just use this bin just to pull out the extras so they'll go pick them up. Important just to cancel it off. If the eggs sit in the bin, they'll turn into Vorik, and not critters. Okay. And I'm also going to set this to vacancy, just ahead of time. So that means that they can't come back in with a suit unless there's a slot to hang it. If you don't turn that on, if all these are full, they'll run past and drop the suit on the ground. So usually it's a good idea to set it to vacancy. I do that for all the suit docks. One there. Okay, so right now I've just got more building to do. I'm focusing on getting the suits up. I think she's grabbing fish. No, sleepy grey. Right. Yeah, so I think there's an infinite loop here where they're trying to grab the sleepy grain, stopping to breathe and dropping it, and then just going up and down, up and down. I've got loads of food. Loads of food. But the most important thing is barbecue and fish. Everything else isn't going to help us. And just more building to do, so yeah, they're just stuck in this infinite loop of grabbing sleepy grain, so I'm just going to turn off. can turn this off. Ah, but they keep coming down here, so fish or meat. I don't understand what they're grabbing. Well, they're not grabbing anything, but I don't know what they're trying to grab. Meat. So he's got a little bit of meat. Yeah, so they pick it up, and then drop it, and then pick it up and drop it. So I just stuck it in for a loop of dropping it. Honestly, I don't know what I can do about that. But they're just going to crack on and do that. It's not like I can turn this off making barbecue. And they've cooked that shuffle pup I got from the printer, so... and obviously, at this point, if you were getting closer to cycle 100, let's say you're running out of meat, these aren't hatching quick enough, you can kill off your stables. So remember here I've got 24 hatches, which is 96,000 kilocalories. So if you're getting close, you can kill them off. Just be aware that after that you'll then not have any food supply, and that won't be an issue. But if you want to, you can account for that and plan on killing them just to keep the meat up. Obviously on this run I'm far from needing that, but if you are getting close, don't be afraid to empty the stable to complete the challenge. This is really annoying me now. I honestly don't know what I can do. But just pick it up and drop it over and over. And I tell you, oh no, I did not. Just stop them coming down here. There we go. Cool. That's what Fav just suggested a while ago, and didn't need to at that point, but I just got a bit fed up. I see we've got slime lung on Ada. Obviously this is just quite germy down here. You see the base is cleaned up nicely, so obviously now the food oxygen's gone, it's all tidy. I am out of sick packs, but I have loads of busy to make them, so I may as well make them. Let's see, we've run out of copper ore because there's copper ore down here, which now they can't reach. But that's fine, we'll let them build what they can build, and once the suits are up and running, we can do that. Right, so we've got 300 key. I'll just put 10 on these. I usually set this to 9, and what I also do is set the worn suit forever. So what happens is, if you leave this option enabled, as in the suit wearing out, if that's enabled in your game settings, after a number of uses they'll get worn and you can't use them anymore. They'll just drop on the floor and it'll add a request to the suit dock. And then what they'll do is they can bring it to the exosuit forge and repair it. So you want that to happen every time anyway. When it does, it'll automatically get dropped into the slot it was meant to be in. So I just leave this on forever, and as long as you can supply it with reed fibre, you'll be fine. But I have this on high priority because you don't want your suits going down. That's important. Okay, and we're just chunking through. We need more cobalt. We'll make the suits out of cobalt. And we're well on track for carnivore. And I should say, if this is feeling like too much, because I'm conscious that I'm doing quite a lot at once, just trying to do all the ranching and everything, while setting up the power systems and the metal and the suits. You could definitely put off doing this if you really just want to focus on carnivore. Get that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because I'm an experienced player with this game, I can keep going quickly. and also let me show you a bit more in this this guide, this playthrough. So that's why I'm going to push on. But if it's too much and you're struggling to focus or trying to get these things right, then by all means just focus on the hatch, the ranching. Get this working, get carnivore on, and then you can let it go and stop worrying about it so much. Okay, I've just noticed that's done, so I can kill this, and I'll just deconstruct that. So now, like I said, this top line is supplying the left side of the base, and that row of suits, so it's more evenly split. You kind of want to balance these lines using the half Rodriguez, which is the 4 pumps, 2 electrolyzers. Try and split your base in half if you're using a full Rodriguez. Where you had 6 pumps and 4 electrolyzers, then you would split it in 3, so you might want to do that vertically. 1, 2, 3. But you'd need a bigger base to warrant using a full Rodriguez anyway. So we're just putting in infrastructure for the suits. We're going to keep making the cobalt we need to make the suits themselves. And we have a suit, so our first Atmos suit is ready. And I can ask them to deliver it. But it's kind of pointless because it's still not powered. So we're just going to bump up the priority on getting the power in. I'm also going to put the suit docks themselves on priority. So the errand associated with the suit dock is supply the suit. That means whenever it gets to here and gets repaired, it's got a high priority to be redelivered. And we need to keep the suit docks up. Ah, no. That's gold amalgam when we're out of gold amalgam, really? I found that hard to believe. Unless it's the... Right, so it's the copper on the power. Yep. Which we are out of. So, do that. And we'll just use cobalt. So just be aware, because like I said, the copper I was going to use is down here, and I've blocked it off from them. So they don't have enough to build with. I'm just going to kill that. Principle. And I'm just basically taking whichever free stuff I can get. I don't need a dupe, so I'll just take whatever's left. So back on hatching. But we should be there next cycle for carnivore. Let's double check. 394, yep. So within a cycle we'll get carnivore on cycle 86. Which may well be a record for me. I don't remember getting it that early before. So fortuitous to catch it on camera. But this is going to show you how to do it. Stone hatch. These are tough things. Good thing it's in the incubator, so I can't fight back. Okay. And we have 2 suits now, so I can just ask them for 5 suits. I got an achievement. What achievement I've got? I have carnivore. There we go. We've done it. So carnivore's the tricky one. Thanks, Himawari. That's good. So that's the main one down. The most difficult one. Obviously, we've done Locavore in the process, and Super Sustainable is the last tricky one, and we're kind of already 15% through that, which is good. So now with carnivore done, we can kill all of this. To be honest, we don't necessarily need to keep it going. And what I'm just going to check is my sandstone levels, because I'm currently feeding them sandstone. I've got 108 tons. So what I'll probably do is honestly just leave this be. But what I want to do is head on to Wild Sleep Week. So as I think I've told numerous people, you can just live off Wild Sleep Week on a map this size. the amount of cranes here. So there's a whole load there. There's going to be a whole load more in here. Half of it I've found half of it. There's a whole load more down here. So I can just dig my way through. Similarly, I can put one in here. I should be able to get through that. And it really helps if you know your heights and your dupe movement, because that should be enough calm. And then we can get to these. We can dig through here. And there's so many plants on the map, and this is all free. You can get across that. Yep, this is all free frost buns, and so much food. Right. Okay. So great. This is now filling with oxygen, so I'm just going to kill that off. So I'll stop it filling this area, and then we'll just focus on filling the base. I think a point I did want to make is I haven't swept anything yet. So base is a complete mess. But we'll focus on other things. We'll spend ages sweeping, and our first suit's done. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take the access out of this. I'm still going to leave the access open because there's not actually, you know, one suit isn't enough for all of 10 dupes to work outside. We don't want to be too hasty in closing this off. So here we go, Ellie's got a suit. Now the risk is Ellie can come back in here with her suit on and not dock it. So ideally we want to get these up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I will extend the wire. I noticed these two are going to end up on this wire. It's not the end of the world. And we've got 3 suits now. See, we've got a poker shell molt, so I can also set that to that. Yep, just carrying on with the cobalt. And so we've been dumping heat in here for a while now. You see, we've made quite a lot of refined metal, including some steel. And this has gone up to 40 degrees, and this is still the same temperature, so we can always move the pump down. It's coming out. It's going at 40, coming out at 70. It'll come out close to 100 if you make steel. Steel puts more heat in. But we can use the setup for quite a while. Nice shuffle. And see what I'm going to do with the consumables. I'm going to put all the consumables back on, but I will take off the nutrient bar, the muckroot, and the swamp chard heart, because they will be astronaut food. For us in Spaced Out, they don't go off, so you can put them in rockets and leave them for a long time. In the base game, not something to worry about. But you may as well keep it, because the only food we can make that doesn't go off is berry sludge. But that takes take the sleet wheat and some bristleberries. So we can plant some bristleberries and start making it using the wild sleet wheat as well. If you're on a smaller Spaced Out map, you may not have the sleet wheat to hand, which will make things a bit more challenging. There we go, and we're using the suits now. So what I can probably do is I can carry this ladder back down, and we can keep digging. I think that's suit number 6, is it? Mira's just made. Sorry, suit number 4. 6 to go. The big filled up nicely. This is going to make life a lot easier. Oh, got some extra extras in here. We've got way too much barbecue now. This fridge is starting to feel inadequate. Okay, we're only 12 cycles off. I will conclude this at 100 because that was the point of the guide, really. I mean, I could, in theory, end the run now because really we've done carnivore, we've done locavore, they're the two most challenging. Super sustainable, we're working through. But I mean, as long as we don't build the wrong generators, we'll get it. It's just a matter of time. Hopefully with the SPOM and the generators, I've shown you how to do that. I might not have time within those 100 cycles to really get into steel and cooling and plastic and more advanced stuff. I'll do my best in the time I've got left, but we might not have time to do it. But overall, I kind of feel, given the whole point of the series is a guide to 100, if I stopped it beyond that, then it would kind of be defeating the object of the guide. So I will go to 100 and I'll stop there. I think I've still got Imawari Pro in chat. I don't know how much time you got, buddy, but if there's anything specific you want to see that I can do, I'm more than happy to try and demonstrate some stuff for you. Just let me know. Yeah. If there's anything of interest that you think I can do to help you out, just yeah, give me a heads up in the chat. Aware as well, I haven't really got into rockets too much. I could have done, but for Spaced Out at least. I think if you're playing the base game, doing rockets ahead of cycle 100 is kind of in speedrun territory. I think a normal playthrough wouldn't be that quick to rockets. It can definitely be done, and I have done it before. But that's more of a speedrun focus than the point of this series. I'll just make sure the skills are up. I think this is kind of it. I like to leave them with a bit of a buffer to how much morale they're going to need, and I think that's also good practice because be conscious that when you send them on space missions, particularly in Spaced Out, in the base game it's not a problem, but in Spaced Out when you send them on space missions, it's obviously more difficult to keep their morale high, so giving some buffer makes them useful dupes for space missions. If you give them lots and lots, you can provide it on your main asteroid because you've got all the room bonuses, you've got great food, and you can put some nice decor in, etc. You can't do all of that in a rocket. So I'll tell you what I will do down here is this and this, and I'll start on the radiation stuff. So if you're playing in Spaced Out, you'll need to start the materials research. Just thinking. If you're in the base game, don't worry about any of this. But for here, we need to start materials research. So I'm just going to stick a rad bolt generator here. I'm going to stick the research terminal here, and I'm gonna ladder down next to it. Just pop it like that. Now this might heat things up, but we'll just live with that. And of course, power-wise, I can put a transformer in here. So again, this is the benefit of having a big power spine. I can just pop a transformer in, connect it up with a little bit of heavy watt, like that. I can now, then I can just draw a normal wire. Ooh, just not over the plants. I want to keep the plants intact. And pop that in there. And pop that in there. And then that'll be powered. So this is how I do it. In the time I've got, I won't be able to do much research to cycle 100, but this is a good way of doing it. In terms of generating radiation, what I'm doing is kind of making a V out of Wheeze Quartz. Because this gives you the most radiation. Early on, you can use radiation lamps to increase it, but this is a good way of pretty much resource-free doing it. Right. So we'll just ask for suits here. 4, 5. And I'll put priority up. Currently I've got just 1 suit on the floor, so I've still got 4 to go. But I think I've got enough resource. Yeah, I've got enough resources for another one, so I've got 3 more worth of cobalt to do, and then they'll all be full. Then I can start thinking about actually putting in this last checkpoint. In fact, now I've got 7, I feel happy putting the checkpoint in. So yes, it will trap 3 troops in the base for now, but that's quickly going to not be the case, and it will stop this going in the wrong door with suits, basically. And remember, I've locked this top one, so they can't get in and out. And it's an important point that you want to make an area that is not suit controlled and an area that is suit controlled, and make sure all of the exits are checkpointed. So you don't want a mixed condition. I've kind of been living with it temporarily, just for the sake of getting them out suits, but now I can do it properly and make sure that's vacancy so they don't drop any. You see, they've already dropped one. So that suit has come from down here, but it's run in here without a dock. Okay. So the suits are just filling up. This should stabilise. I noticed this area of the base is not being served so much just because the suits are taking all the oxygen, but this will level out in the end. Now we've got suits on, getting down here is not a problem. In fact, I think they've already done it. Yeah, they've already done it. Now I can continue on with this plan. I see there's a saltwater geyser here, awesome. So that could be an infinite source of water for us. Where can they get down? Get down here, here, here. What I'll do is I'm trying to drain this, so I'm trying to drain it off to the side. So then I can continue my ladder and pole, although I do have more metal ore now, so I can do that. I can continue that down all the way, and it's going to go the entire height of the map. Just give you good access. So I like to build a second one usually on the other side of the base. Kind of gives you maximum access, and you can also add transit tubes. So that's why it's 3 wide. There is room for transit tube here, which I'm not going to put in for a while, but it's better to leave the space. Now, perfect. This is just going to drain off to the right, and I can keep going. Just watch that it doesn't get stuck. Okay. So we'll just murder that. See, I've already got 50,000 of frost bonds just from the wild stuff. Let's see. Right. Oh, that's only 1 high. Needs to be 2 high. Here we are. Ash scans. Continuing on with the materials research terminal. This is draining. So what will happen is there'll be a layer of salt water here that will remain even when it drains off. So the polluted water's going to have to go off the top of it, and then the water will get stuck. So we'll have to do a little bit of mopping just to keep this flowing. Okay, it's pushed it into the side. Excellent. This is still draining. Lovely. Look at that. So this is still getting hot, but it's gone from 30 to 40 degrees, and we've made 3 tons of cobalt, a ton of gold, half a ton of iron, and half a ton of steel. And it's gone up by 10 degrees. So that's my recommendation if you want to get metal refinery up quickly. Do it like that. I think people worry too much about the metal refinery. If you've got a big body of water, you'll be fine. Okay, this is just draining. And we'll get into kind of mop territory. Excellent. So this is kind of holding up this stack of liquid. And also because this is 3 layers, it's this is sitting on there. So I've just asked for a high priority mop. See, I think we should be low enough to mop this up. Obviously the gold we're draining is off the side, so I don't mix it with the oil down here. Cool, yeah. So I think that's just flowing across slowly because there's water sitting on top of the salt water, which is rather annoying. So mop and dig and just try and clear this bit up. Suits left. Cycle 91. And, for YouTube purposes, this will definitely be the last video part of the series. I suspect this is part 7. I'll find out when I do the editing. Cool, right. So now we've cleared this out, we can just keep going. Except we've hit a bit of a snag, so we're going to have to go around this. I did choose this map because it has a lot of oil reservoirs on, so I should know about the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There'd be one here. I don't want to put that in, so put it over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 5. And then this is my way of keeping the map all regular. 1, 2, 5, 5. And I'm conscious those ones are unbuildable, but that's fine. Okay, so it's there. And then I can just continue this down here, say. And let's go digging, because there's lots of useful stuff down here. And I do want to kind of call this out. So the oil itself is useful. And I'll show you how to do a quick oil, petroleum, and plastic from digging out down here. It's quite easy to do. So we'll demonstrate that. The fossil is useful for lime, so we can make loads more lime, loads more steel. You can make loads of it from the stuff down here. So yes, the eggshells are good, and you can try and set that up, but also just use the fossil. Okay. So people are idle because there's no oxygen in the suits yet. They're still filling out. So down here, materials research, so I'll point that one that way. I'm going to put that to 51 because it loses a rad bolt as it travels, and this takes 100. So what we can do, now we've got the yellow one, the material science, we can start doing some of that. So I think I'm just going to put some glass in because I could really do some solar panels, and that will help the super sustainable. Here, this should be a Weezwort. I've got 3 seeds, which is perfect. Just use the copy settings button, which is the backslash on the keyboard. I'll tell you what, I will prioritise this. Let's just prioritise that. And then what I can do here is so really I need to continue this down. So I need the heavy water going down here. But I don't want to dig this because I'm going to make a mess with the water. So what I'll do I'll use heavy over joint plate. Put it in here like this. Ah, now this is sand, so I'm not going to do that because it's sand, it's going to fall. So I'm going to put it at the bottom of the sand, on top of the rock, which won't fall. We can use gold. And then I want to avoid this sand falling out and letting this water loose. So I'll dig under the rock. And then I can continue this down. And then what I'll do is pop an oil refinery here for a little bit of petroleum, and then a plastic. I can't remember what you call it. What are they called? Polymer press to make plastic. To make sure I've got it on the research. Where is it? Yeah, okay, so I've got the polymer press, I've got the oil refinery. So we'll set this up as a bit of an open setup. So principles. Where's now the tracklets? Well, no reason not to. More meat. I've got 170,000 food. In fact, this fridge is completely full. And what I will do, I can delete this now. I need to have that. Delete that. Just fill these two fridges. Okay. And at this point as well, I will start to think about sweeping. So what I'll do is I'll put these dispensers in. We can bump that up. We can make more steel. We have 10 suits, brilliant. So we've got 10 suits, all the docks are filled with oxygen. Obviously this one's still charging, but it's charging quicker than it's being used. So now we have a completely controlled... So we're controlled for germs, we're controlled for oxygen. So we still haven't quite finished the sump down here. What we might want to do is... okay, we need to move this so... we can keep getting water. That's important because this is going to stop our advanced research. What I can do is block that. And these can be underwater, by the way, they don't get flooded. So by all means, put them completely underwater if you want. Might make using them a bit difficult unless you've got suits on, but if you do have suits, it's fine. And I can stick this up. And we'll just slowly use this water, and then when that's done we'll continue on down here. Now what I probably will do with this one though is, rather than continue the base down, because obviously the sump kind of finishes here, the carbon pit at the bottom, we can come across from this way. So as long as we open this up, then we can put in a pump. Right. So I'm going to make a little bit more iron, and then we'll make some more steel when we've got the lime. So the lime should be coming through now, because we actually have the suits to get the bit. Right, so these dispensers, this is how I store everything on the map. So what I'll do, I'll just set this to everything. I'll set it to sweep only. So anything I sweep will get picked up in there. I'm just going to suppress the notification using the mod. Now what I can do is just sweep the whole base, and because everything's on here, it'll just get dumped. So I'm literally going to do that. So just go boop, like that. I'm just going to cancel the muck root because it gives me the red one. So the red, when you've got the red notifications, it tells you can't store it. So for the liquids, you would need a bottle emptier, which I don't have. Just get rid of them because they annoy me. You can leave them on; they won't do anything with them because they can't. That same settings on there, so more fridges. Get some muck root there. Muck root. there. But everything else, other than the muck root and the liquids, is free game to sweep, so they'll slowly pile it on that tile. So it pops in the dispenser just drops it. And that way you store everything on one tile. It helps performance, because the game doesn't have to calculate so many heat transfer and things like that. And also you get a decor bonus. So in the base right now, the debris takes away from decor. So tidying up's a good idea, but don't rush to do it. Let's get everything else sorted first, and then when we've got time, we can do that. What I want to do is prioritize this, and this, yeah, so this is ready to go now. Now we have to be a bit careful here. The rub bolts will hit the tubes. There's only left, but usually set up like this, they'll get through the rub bolts quicker than the generator makes them. Just for demonstration here, so this kind of V shape, you can do another row as well. I think that's the most efficient. So this is a 5 setup V. I think 7's the most, but in terms of rads, we got 1200 here, and when we add this Weasel on, we'll get a little bit more. I mean, that's quite a lot. It's almost as much as a crash satellite. If you've got crash satellites on your map, then by all means use those. It's much better than space. Space is only giving you 100. And with the new way they've implemented this, you actually, the number of rad bolts you get is the radiation divided by 10. So you're not actually getting 1200 per cycle. You're getting 120. But yeah, now we can do the materials research. So that's going to unlock this tier of the tree, and we'll need the orbital research to get the next bit. I probably won't have time to get onto that. We've got another achievement. Let's check what we've got. Slick, yep, for entering the oil biome. So there we go. Ashcan's dug through. Which is perfect. And now we have access to oil. Just going to use what's lying about for now. We can pump water into the oil reservoirs if we want to make a bit more, but usually there's quite a lot down here that we can just scoop up with a pump and put into a refinery, and I'll demonstrate how to do that. Okay, we're still missing on lime. I don't know why so we're not getting enough priority on this. We'll get to it eventually. Oh, notification saying. What's that saying? There's critters in here. Why have we got 3 critters in here? Ah, the shine bugs. Just gonna kill the shine bugs because they're setting off the critter sensor. But soon we'll be in a position really to remove these ranches. We don't need them anymore. We can use the wild sleep wheat. And I think we've almost got enough to supply the 10 dupes. And then we'll just live off that. Much easier to live off that. You see with the soup, so much easier. They can just breathe. They're not getting debuffs. Okay, and the joint plate's in, so just do the wire. Mopping this up just to try and stop any water getting down here. It's not the end of the world, so a tiny amount, but for neatness sake. And then what we can do is that. So what I'm going to do down here, because obviously I've got my spine, I can have an oil refinery. And this will spit out natural gas in the area around it, but I don't care. This is absolutely nowhere near anything that's going to cause me issues. Okay, I've got 2 hatches to kill, bit of barbecue. Not that we're so concerned, now we finished the challenge. But it's the other side of the... Oh, I can do that. And then I'm only going to need a liquid reservoir, and the reason is... if you put this straight into that, usually you don't get to store enough in the pipes, so because it's a manual dupe errand to run the oil reservoir, it makes a lot of back and forth trips if they don't if you don't store it in a reservoir. Also make the reservoir out of gold if you can, because they do overheat. Kind of feels like they won't, or they shouldn't. They will. So we're gonna need to pipe into the refinery. Now that's going to come from our oil biome down here. So we'll just conscious of the pipe material. So I don't really want sandstone. I'm going to swap to igneous rock, because there's a lot of igneous rock down here. Where have I dug down to? So I'm just thinking. We can do it from here. So this is kind of the lowest point I've actually dug to. We'll put a pump, again make it out of gold, just to make sure the heat, because these oil biomes tend to be hotter. It's already over 75, so if you put a copper or a cobalt one or something like that in, it's not going to make it. I don't want to extend the heavy watt spine all the way down there. I mean, I will in the end, but at this point, nope, that's too much. So I'm just going to run a transformer and a normal wire. I'll pop this wire down here, just with to the pump. So just going to capture all this oil as it stands, and feed it in here. So we'll need a bridge, so that pops up over the output, and then the output itself comes up and around. So the oil comes up to the bottom. I've just bridged over the output there into the refinery, out of the refinery into the reservoir, out of the reservoir into the press. And that's all we're going to do for now. So we're just going to make some plastic. And we need that for steam turbines. Why do I only have 200 steel? I must have used steel for something. Should have done. But there's a tip: you can use the metal overlay to work out what you've made your buildings out of, to see if you've... So that's gold, that's fine. Or maybe I made a pump or something out of it. 400's about the size of a pump. Metal will show up, steel will show up as kind of almost a grey. It's not yellow or pink, but I can't see anything. I swear I definitely made 600 kilos of steel. So I must have used it somewhere. Very odd. Okay, anyway. I believe that's a mystery. Okay, research. So again, we've got this tier of research. So I have the glass forge. I could do the solar panel. And now I've got the glass forge as well. I'll just do a quick demonstration on how to use that. But it's pretty easy. The glass forge, I think people get very hung up on because of the temperature of it. But it's not actually something to worry about. It doesn't... 4, 5... Because you're making so little glass, and because it's... has quite a low heat capacity, then actually you can just dump it on the floor like this. So this is how I do my refinery. Pipe it out with igneous insulated pipes, just to make sure that it doesn't condense in the pipes. If it turns into a solid in the pipes, then it'll break them, so try and avoid that. But other than that, you can just pop it on the floor, and don't be worried about the fact that it says the output temp is Does it say what it is? Maybe 1400, well, at least 1100 degree molten glass. It won't actually heat things up that much. In the small area around the glass it pops out, it will heat. But that's not a big issue. Another hatch. Yeah, I've got so much frost bun. 90,000 frost buns. And probably some of it's going stale as well now. Just because I can't eat it in time. It's got rock piles. What I should do is just put compost at this point. You just pop these anywhere, but I'll just put them on the roof of the base. Okay, we're almost there, just 5 cycles to go, and then I'll wrap this up. There. If anyone has watched this far and has watched all the videos, and that's very much appreciated. So got a lot of content here, but hopefully a lot of it's useful. Showing you how to get an all achievement run started nice and efficiently, get carnivore, local, super sustainable out of the way, and set up your base to continue on from there. Some general tips and tricks. Okay, yeah, and we're starting to get more lime, I think. So if I just check, yeah, check this out. So we've got another 55 kilos. We can make more steel. Another tip as well, what I should do under the priorities, there's a little option here that you can enable proximity, which is completely hidden and no one tells you about it. So thanks, Imawari. So if you don't know about this, then definitely make sure it's enabled. Probably could have done it a bit earlier. At the start you're alright, but this means that the proximity is something that they prioritise a little bit higher. Definitely enable that. It stops them running around so much to different jobs. Okay. What I can do is I'll make some glass for a solar panel. It's 25 kilos per go. You need 8 of them for a solar panel, so just tend to do them in 8s. See, that's ready to go. All I need is sand. And then what we would do, obviously I'm not going to have time in this playthrough, but bring this ladder up. I can see the this key's in the way. I think it's a chlorine vent. You just bring the ladder around the side and back up. So it runs from the heavy watt up here, and then pop the solar panels in. So I haven't found the top of the map. Let's prioritise that a bit. So you run your heavy watt up here, you have some kind of joint plate to stop the gases all leaking out, and then you can just pop solar panels up. Oh, small hatches ready. Obviously in the base game you can't really go with solar panels this early because of the meteor showers. In Spaced Out it's not a problem. So if you're going to try it in the base game, you'd need some kind of bunker doors to keep the meteors protecting you, and a little bit of automation and power, and it gets more complicated. So it's actually, I think it's easier to do super sustainable in the DLC, just for the reason solar panels. Okay. Oh, small hatches. I can see Rowan has some light wounds. I assume he was attacked by a poker shell somewhere, so I've got a massage table, so just back this up to 100, just to let you put anyone on it that's injured. We'll just give Rowan some time to recover. I like keeping them full health, because the wounds in fact there. Agility. And that can make them more at risk of getting injured, so keep them for HP. And I kind of want to demonstrate here with the glass. So, I just ran out of power before we're about to finish. But temperature-wise, the sand's kind of, the area is 30 degrees. What are we doing? So I'm having to use the manual generators to keep the power up. The glass comes out here. About, well, almost 2,000 degrees. So you might think, oh, that's really hot. And it pops down here, instantly turns to solid. And the sand below it has gained 5 degrees. Quickly just goes back down. Glass itself, 600, then falling. But it's so little that it's not worth worrying about. Now, what you might notice as well is I've got 24 kilos, even though this makes it back to 25. So actually I'm going to need an extra one. That can sometimes bug out when it condenses. Just be careful. Otherwise you end up with 199 and you need 200 and see another one. But my heat wise is, actually this isn't too much heat to worry about, and it'll very quickly just disperse into the environment. So you don't need to do anything complex, no cooling or piles of water. I mean, you can dump it in water if you want, but honestly the environment will just take it. And as long as your base is protected, you're fine. Now what I am noticing is this heating up. It's heating up because the spawn kind of produces quite hot oxygen. So this will settle somewhere around 70 degrees. So we'll need some active cooling. So I'm not going to get to it in this playthrough. But that's kind of where I'd start to go for the mid game. We've got the steel. Don't quite have enough. So currently I've got 700, another 3. Get me a ton of steel. I need 1.2 tons for the aqua tuner, and that's what I'd be focusing on as well. We've got steel. We need a little bit of plastic for that as well to make the steam turbine. So I wonder if I can demonstrate that. I've kind of demonstrated the glass forge, so I'm just going to deprioritize that. I might. I'll have a go, see if the dupes can manage this in the time I've got left. I've only got a couple cycles. Yeah, so him was saying you're converting raw sand into glass as well. Yeah, so the glass forge takes in sand and outputs glass. And I just dump it on the environment. You might even want to do it further away from your base. I've done it fairly close, but people worry because it comes out at 2,000 degrees, but it has so little heat capacity and it's such little mass that the heat quickly just gets absorbed. It will make things a little hotter, but my point is not enough to worry about. So just grab the glass quickly and get on. Meanwhile, the research here is just continuing on. Got some solid nuclear waste, which is when the rad bolts have got nothing to hit against, so turn into liquid nuclear waste, and then it's freezing because it's in a cold biome. Last principle for this run. I'm just going to nab the Paku. Oh, yeah, I'm just going to kill him. I could let him drop down, but I just have the meat. Probably better to keep them on balance. I could say open this up and let them flop out, but we'll just take the meat. If you can keep wild Paku around, they're always good. Meanwhile, then you drop the multi-glass and sands eventually heat up and convert the natural tan. Yes, but I think the temperature you'd need to convert kind of natural sand into glass is is 1700 degrees. So yeah, it was just a coincidence that it fell on the sand. It's not doing anything with the sand below it. I think in order to melt sand and turn it into glass, which I have done before, accidentally, it requires a significant amount of heat. So we're just cracking on with this. Hopefully I can get a little bit of plastic for you before I hit cycle 100. See, this is unreachable. Be careful, I don't want to dig the sand. I thought there's another one of those big prey. Yeah, no, melting sand to make glass isn't really feasible. I mean, you could do it, but why bother when you've got the glass forge? I mean, by all means, if anyone wants to have a go at making a sand melting machine, you can do it. Maybe something along the lines of, I don't know, you need magma and conveyor rails, something along those lines. Could be done. I think ultimately it's a bit pointless in the sense that there's a much easier way to do it, so why bother? But it can be a fun little build. And that's kind of the point of owning, is we love pushing the game mechanics as far as they'll go. Right, so I'm draining the oil into here. Just getting all this built. I'm just bumping the priority on this just so I can get this done before cycle 100 and demonstrate it. That's all I have time for. And the suits make this all possible, so way easier with suits. So we're almost there. We've only got a little bit of oil, unfortunately. Bit of a bucket here. Dig that out. Yeah, no, that's not really. Cool. Right. So we're filling up oil, and this is just the oil I found. We can also pump the oil well, but there's usually loads at the bottom if you kind of pull it together. Remember, the map goes right the way along here. So there's loads of oil. Oil comes up, gets into the refinery, and then just missed off the gas soap. This also makes carbon dioxide and it makes steam, so I'm just going to dump it into the area because it's not going to cause too many issues. Now Ellie's going to operate the machine. You lose half the mass, which is why say converting it using a volcano or heat from Akatuna is preferred, because you keep all the mass. You see, we've already filled up the pipeline, but Ellie can keep going and keep filling up the reservoir. Just need to build this output for this to work. But we can just store petroleum, and then we just get loads of easy plastic. Like I say, this building, the refinery, does make natural gas. That's not really a concern. We're all in suits. This is miles away from a base because of the expanding we've done. And there we go. So we've got I think 100 cycles to be exact. Turn the century. And that's probably the last achievement we're going to get. So I'm just going to conclude up here, just get this working for plastic, and then I'll do a bit of a wrap up. Put out sandstone, which wasn't the best idea. Okay. And whilst Tune builds that, so the polymer press is going on, and again, that's dumping steam into the atmosphere. It's going to dump carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Also, I'm running out of power because we're on generators. But this just makes plastic, and then we're going to use the plastic. We can build steam turbines. So I haven't researched them yet. They're coming there, so it'll be done soon. And then we use that in combination with an actual tuner. So I'll have to cover that as part of my my guide series, which I'm going to produce. So if you're on the YouTube channel, hopefully in the short future from when I'm recording this, I'll have made a number of guides. So have a poke through, and hopefully there'll be something useful in there. Going to try and make lots of useful stuff. I'll wrap up what we've done with the colony. So a key focus for an all achievement run, as we know, that the three tricky ones are carnivore, low fort, super sustainable. A lot of the run is kind of focused on the carnivore, how to set up the ranches, make sure we get three hatch ranches set up, and use the shovels as well if you find them at the top of the map. Locavore, just make sure you don't plant anything. Anything food-wise, you can plant decorative plants, so for your Great Hall bonus, do that. But that includes thimbleweeds and weezewort, so don't accidentally plant those, because they will count. Super sustainable, again, just don't build the wrong generators, and you see, by cycle 100 we're already 50,000, so we're about 20% of the way-ish through. And with solar panels that we're working on, you can definitely bump this up. We've got a number of other ones. Obviously, we've got 100 cycles. That's what we've got to. But pay the bills fairly straightforward. Outdoor renovations is pretty easy, slick. So we're in the oil biome. We've cooked stuff. We've done the SPOM, so we've got oxygen going. Bed and bath is pretty easy. Royal flush. We've replaced all the outhouses and the things. Bit of automation on the power. We've cured a duplicate. It's important to get that one early because now pretty much no one can get sick. So we've got some new morphs and fans gravitas stuff. So that's kind of all the achievements we've done so far. A lot of the focus was around that, but a lot of tips and tricks on how to set up rooms, set up base. Kind of got a modular design, but a safe area with oxygen and germ control. This isn't heat controlled particularly well. Obviously we've got the insulation, which is keeping most of it out, but we will heat up, so a mid-game goal will be to start cooling this back down. Got a carbon trap down the bottom. You notice I never had to use a carbon skimmer or any algae terrariums or anything to actually deal with the CO2. We can just bump this out later on. And yeah, I think that covers it. I've started really here to get in the mid-game as well, so we've got the SPOM up, the self-powered oxygen machine, we've got the suits and the suit docks up, we've got glass going, we've got steel production in full swing, and I think as it stands, yeah, we're still limited on lime, but given how much fossil we've got done here, that'll all turn into lime. Loads and loads. We can make probably tens of tons of steel. A starter on how to make some plastic. Again, this is all just kind of, it's pretty, just almost temporary, but you can make so much that you can actually leave it. You don't necessarily need to design a proper system to get going. That allows you to do cooling, and we can go rockets up here. So we've got into space. I haven't yet found the top of the map, so I'd want to find that to know where to place my rocket platforms. But especially for spaced out, you can definitely start going with rockets earlier and exploring the other planets on the star map. Get a telescope. In the base game, you might want to wait a bit longer, get more steel. The steel production is key to make the bunker tiles and the bunker doors to get out here. But that's it really. A lot of bits and pieces. You can definitely continue this kind of run on. All achievements is possible. So if any of you are out there that wanted to give it a go or have tried it and struggled, then hopefully there's some useful stuff in here. But that is where I'm going to wrap it up. So just again, a big thanks to anyone that's watched through the series, especially on the YouTube videos. I think there's probably going to be a series of seven videos around 7 hours, so it's a long watch if you've managed to get through. But if you have, please drop a like, drop a subscribe, and I'll hopefully shortly be posting more content to YouTube. So that's all. I'll wrap it up there. Thanks everyone.